person and online that are hopefully applicable to introverts and extroverts, to those with very, very high levels of imposter syndrome down to those with no levels of imposter syndrome. So again, my name is Raina Harris. I am the technical facilitator of the Data Commons Pilot Phase Consortium. This is a snapshot of our community. That's about 50 of us at a workshop in Chicago. They're in the middle, luckily not wearing the exact same shirt. And it's a community of bioinformaticians, computer sciences, software engineers, program developers, project managers, and NIH officers. And every month for the last 6 months, we've had a face-to-face meeting. And the best way that I can describe what our goals are, what our mission is to show you an artifact from our most recent workshop. So bear with me while I walk you through this. So the consortium is made up of 10 teams. They all bring their own expertise. And we gave ourselves element names: copper, nitrogen, phosphorus. So our logo is always somewhat of a variation of a periodic table, and that's how we identify with ourselves. I'm Team Copper, you might be, and so we sort of know it's some little insight lingo, but it works with us. So our project is a 5-year project. Hopefully, we could be cut off at any time. It's broken down into phases, and phase 1 was our 6-month kickoff to prove to NIH that we were worthy of 3 more years of funding. Phase 0 was getting together to develop our plan. And so we had a 2-day workshop in September at Harvard Medical School. So our goal as an organization, as a consortium, is to build cloud-based, community-driven solutions for biomedical research. So NIH and the broader community believe that the lack of cloud-based technology, the ability to share data, find data, access data, is a barrier to success. So our research goal is building cloud-based solutions. And we want community buy-in. So our solution is to build a data commons. What a data commons is something that enables sustainable knowledge production across many data sets by growing infrastructure and community for interoperable data analysis. It's some jargon, but if you're in the field, those words begin to have meanings, and it's a mission slogan that we can coalesce around. And so we have pillars, not necessarily of content, but of our strategy. This is how we're going to get there. We believe that a data commons, a place where people store, share, find data, should be interoperable. It doesn't matter what institution you're at, you can always get it. It should be standardized. There are standard ways that people name things, the data standards, metadata standards. Our environment should be welcoming and supportive for newcomers and veterans. And we want to create a space where innovation happens, and we want to sustain our project beyond the lifetime of our funding cycle. Whew, okay. So, it's a big consortium. We're 500 people across the US, so networking is important, but also just for yourselves, networking as you go through your career. So most of this is personal experience and or what I've observed from others. Occasionally I have a resource. This is a book by Jeff Leck called How to Be a Modern Scientist. And whether you like it or not, digital media, digital communication is a way that people network. So you may as well develop your own online identity or brand, whether it's your personal identity or whether it's like the brand of your company. And it's important to distinguish those two. You as a person might love posting cat videos and pictures of your martini, but as an institution, do you want to showcase your mentoring profile or your group meeting? You may or may not. You can be politically, I saved that one. Okay, moving on. Share work that you have developed and that others have developed. I'm going to do a tiny exercise. You all have to play along. So the old kind of networking, you imagine you're an undergrad and you go to a career fair, and this is scary, especially if you don't love this. You're like, hi, I'm Raina, I teach bioinformatics courses. Hi, I'm Raina, I've organized the Latin American community. Hi, I'm Raina, I'm interested in neuroscience and genomics. Hi, I'm Raina, I like teaching neuroscience. And that's like really scary, and like I only met 4 of you, and there's like 80 more people, and like I don't know who to talk to. And also what happens is normally they throw those away, right? You just spent $30 on cards, those are the first 4 you used. But what if instead of throwing it away, they turned around and gave that business card to the person behind them? So if you could so oblige.
I'm not Raina.
So if you think of that as a tweet, if I sent out 4 tweets that were all a little bit about what I'm interested in, and then they liked it or retweeted it, I didn't have to talk to that person individually, but they got an artifact about me. They know how to contact me. They know something that I'm interested in. And because of social media, the way that works, the very fact that people have looked at these, now 4 more people got cards, and I didn't speak to a single one of them. So, and what's cool is now the fact that you shared something about me, you're promoting my network, and I'll probably repay that favor later on. And if you have more social capital than me, then you can help me put my brand out there to a bigger audience. Or if I have more social capital than you, then I can help you get into new networks. So sharing the work of other people and of yourself on Twitter, on the internet, is a great way to have a broader reach than you could ever have one-on-one contact with. Okay, if creating media is scary for you, you're not a scientist, but you are managing a platform for scientists, 2 easy things that you can do to develop content and break down your content pillars is add images. If there's a publication, title, figure 1, put it out there. Very little work on your part. You don't have to know what it means. Title, figure 1, easy. And we know that images get more retweets and clicks. Or add a commentary. If you see that PNAS Twitter put out a publication from your group, retweet it and say, new pub from Sarah, awesome work. And then people are like, oh cool, this is a paper from Sarah, I'll read that one. Versus if you just hit retweet, it might go through someone's filters, like I don't know why I'm supposed to look at this. Be careful of hot button issues. If you are passionate about diversity, about sexual harassment, about anything else, politics, it's one thing, please, if you're passionate about those things, share them, but be aware of what happens afterwards. Be aware of trolls if your thing is picked up. Be aware of whether or not you're tweeting from your own account or from your communities. Like, are you speaking for your community, or are you speaking for yourself? So I'm not saying don't do these things, but just be aware of the consequences. Okay, some of us are event organizers. We like to hang out in person. So this right here, this is an image of a recent Carpentries meetup at PyCon. It's an organization of Python users. I don't use Python. I didn't go to this conference, but it was in my city, and I knew that there would be about 5 or 6 people, and so I sent out an email, and I was like, hey folks, do you want to go to dinner? And they were all like, yes, and I said, anyone's invited, your spouses, your friends, your other partners, and I emailed 5 people, and 18 people showed up. And here we are with our classic Carpentries slogan. And this woman here, I heard through the grapevine that this dinner was her favorite part of the whole meeting, and it was just, you want to have meetups where people can socialize. So what are my tips? Organize events where people can collaborate and converse casually. It's huge. Something about you're in a relaxed environment, you're in your favorite clothes, you're eating, you've maybe had a beer or not, you've maybe had a chance to meditate. Something about the casual environment really facilitates one-on-one conversation and helps build relationships. Introductions set the stage for building relationships. Okay, again, I stole this from Tracy Teal. Tracy has a lesson on how introductions set the stage for learning. Every day that we've come here, you get an introduction to the teacher, you get an introduction to your students. So by getting to know other people, it facilitates social learning. In my opinion, if you're an event organizer, you should facilitate as many introductions as you can. When people walk in the room, go, hey Anne, have you met Sarah? Oh, you have? Oh man, I'm slow. People will come in that are introverts and they're gonna need help. So if you can and there's early people, there are people that get there early, there are people that get there on time, and if you can sort of help them talk during those minutes, they won't be so conscious that you're running a few minutes late. Or they won't be so conscious that they showed up and nobody else did. Create online communication platforms. You want Slack, you want Twitter, you want ways that people can communicate without you. Networking for event attendees. Introduce yourself. This is the harder one for the introverts. Introduce yourself and follow up afterwards. Tweet about your experiences. So maybe talking to people is hard, but if you write about your experience and you share it later, you're able to spread your knowledge throughout a community. You don't have to talk face to face, but by sharing your opinions, people can connect with you and go, okay, we have something in common. We have a shared understanding. Then my last but not least, let's say you don't want to talk to anyone, you don't want to blog about your experience, you don't like any of the advice that I've given you. You probably are there to give a talk or present a poster. That's usually how you get reimbursed. If you go up and you only do that thing that you were there to be, if it's memorable or entertaining in some way, people are going to relate to you, and they're going to, when they needed a speaker to talk about that thing, they'll call you. You did nothing on your own. You just showed up and did the one thing that you're good at without putting yourself out of your comfort zone. So you don't have to do all 10. I think when all of them come together, when there's a little bit of social networking, when there's a little bit of help from the event organizers, when there's a little bit of you getting out of your comfort zone and overcoming your imposter syndrome and introducing yourself and saying you're awesome too, you can build a huge community and have positive networking experiences. Thank you.